I mean, it was easy to decide to do a Gordon Lightfoot tribute, but railroads, what led you to that as a Valley girl, someone who lives in the San Fernando Valley, not necessarily on the train all the time? What was it that led you to this project?
Well, okay, in my 70 years that I've been upon this planet, I spent my first 24 years in Austin, Texas, except for the time that I lived overseas, and I lived in Italy for a while. But we grew up because you don't know exactly where I'm talking about. Maybe you do, but I went to grade school at Maplewood, which is 38th and a half Street, and where Lafayette kind of comes down there, and the street we lived on was French Place, and we were about, as a crow flies, probably quarter of a mile from the tracks, and about 6 blocks if you walk fast. And when we left grade school, every afternoon, Monday to Friday, we're walking over the tracks every day, and we're always going to stop and see if the train was coming, and wait for a few minutes, kill a few minutes time, and say, okay, is the track warm? Can you tell? Put your ear down to it. Can you hear anything? And so the train was a regular occurrence, even though they were freight trains. Because in Austin at that time, we had no passenger trains.
Right.
There weren't any passenger trains. There was a depot for passenger trains, and I think it came through once a week. It was maybe from California to New Orleans, and then I think one train came from Chicago down to Austin, but it didn't come all the way. It stopped in Smithville or Temple or something like that. So we never really had passenger trains. I didn't really see a passenger train until I went overseas when I was 17, and I traveled the trains from London. We flew into London, took the train down to Rome, over the channel. We took the hovercraft, and then picked up another train, going an overnight train down to Rome. And then we took trains all over Europe the year that I was there. And then later on, when I toured with the Textones, we took trains all over Scandinavia, because some of those places it's just too far away. Just like California, Scandinavia, it's like, the north-south deal is a long way.
Very spread out.
Very spread out. So you got on a train, and especially the trains, and I rode trains in Japan. The bullet train I rode there, and just incredible. I love trains. It's really great. But I grew up with trains. So it was like was
there a romance about it, or was it like
there was a romance? It was. I'm going to tell just a short story. I had my sister's best friend lived across from the tracks. They were very poor, and she her name was Lily B. Very little Abner type.
Yeah.
Very Texan.
Yeah. And her father, she was one of 12 children. And her father was probably, I don't know, when I met him, he was probably, at that time, we thought he was really, really old, and he was probably 40.
Yeah, right.
But he used to jump on the train and disappear for months. He'd jump the boxcars right in front of his house. They were rolling slow. He'd jump on. And then you wouldn't see him again. And then his wife would eventually get pregnant, because he came home for the conjugal visit, and then left again, and left her to deal with having another child. So that's why so many children, right? So I wrote a song about that, which I did not include on this record, though, because I felt it was a little bit of, I didn't want to include any of my songs on the album. So, but it was called Slow Rollin' Train. And it's about the slow rolling boxcars that when the bums would jump off, on and off, or people that just had to get away.
Did you ever try to do? No.
We only see this in movies. Really.
Yeah.
No. But the scariest thing, one time the first trip I made overseas was with my sister, who's 6 years older than me, and my brother is 3 years older than me. He met us in London. He was already living in Rome, studying to be an actor. And he met us up in London, and we went to see Let It Be first. It opened at Piccadilly Circus. We saw Let It Be.
Perfect.
And we saw Easy Rider, 1970.
Oh, that's a good 1-2 punch right there.
And then we hopped on a train went down to pick up the overnight ferry and go to France, and then take the train from France down to Rome. And we had Eurail passes. We had 3-month Eurail passes, and Eurail. Let me clarify that in case people don't know what that is anymore. A Eurail pass was you could buy it in increments of 30 days or 2 weeks or 3 months, and a student pass, which was 2 months, unlimited travel. So we traveled all over the place.
Amazing.
That summer we traveled, we just get on a train, and if it got too hot in Rome, we'd just say, okay, let's find a train. Okay, there's one going to Munich. I bet that's going to be cold up there. So we got a little kit bag and jumped on the train, and we got off. One time we got off in the Tyrol in Austria, and it was beautiful weather there. But as we were taking the train down to Rome, my sister and my brother were smokers. Me, no. They had to get off and get cigarettes. We pull into this in Switzerland. It's just the border of Switzerland and Italy. We pulled into this Bellinzona, and they got off and said, "Okay, we're going to go get sandwiches, and we're going to get." And I went, "Cigarettes and Cokes." And so they got off, and I'm there sitting there, and all of a sudden the train starts moving. And I go, "Oh my God!" You got to remember, I was 17. I was 17, but I've been around, but 17. Come on. And I had the passports, I had the money, I had the luggage.
Did you jump off?
No, I did not. I thought, 2 fools that had to get cigarettes and Cokes. Okay, my sister and my brother. And I'm sitting on the train, and I'm not crying yet, but I'm pretty close. And about 15 minutes out of the station, I see them running down the car through the hallway, and oh God, we found you. And I said, where are you guys? I said, well, I don't know. The train changed tracks. I went, that's what was going, is it goes in, right? And you don't think of trains in America. Usually the trains come in and they keep going, but not in LA. It goes to Union Station and then backs back out again, right? Well, that's what this was doing. It was backing out. Anyway, so that was my scary train